Weather coverage you can count on with Alabama's weather anchor of the year, Wave 31's chief meteorologist, Kate McKenna.
Got that risk for severe weather again tomorrow. It starts as early as 5 o'clock tomorrow evening, and here's what we were expecting. At the top of the list, it's damaging wind. Wind gusts exceeding 70 miles per hour will be possible with a line of storms rolling through tomorrow, and within the line, we've also got that tornado threat. The difference in tomorrow's storms from what we typically tell you is that, yes, there's that risk for a spin-up tornado, but tomorrow that's not just the case. It's not a spin-up tornado threat that we're tracking for you. We can even see strong tornadoes within that line, EF2 or stronger. Flooding is a risk that we'll be monitoring for you, but it's definitely a lower concern at this point in time. Temperatures, it's a warm afternoon transitioning into a warm evening. Low to mid 70s all across North Alabama, 73 right now in Huntsville, 72 in Fayetteville. We're at 75 in Muscle Shoals, 74 in Fort Payne, and 72 in Guntersville. Wave 31 Storm Tracker early warning radar network showing us that quiet picture. It will stay that way tonight. It will stay that way for the most part through the day tomorrow. Wider view showing more cloud cover rolling through in that big dynamic system that is churning across the center of the U.S. We've got some storms firing up in Kansas right now. There is a threat for severe weather across the plains, but that threat does heighten for us tomorrow. Speaking of tomorrow, just to kind of give you an overview here, we're focusing more on the forecast tomorrow rather than the overnight, although we will be getting close to 60 degrees. That's as cool as it gets tonight. It stays a little bit breezy and it stays cloudy. Tomorrow, to put it simply, it is very windy before the storms roll through. Windy enough for a wind advisory, and it is very warm. 82 degrees your high temperature, even with the cloud cover. It's not going to make a difference. That's a strong south wind gusting to 45 miles per hour. The severe threat ramps up later in the evening. So here's a look at the forecast wind gusts. That wind advisory starts at 9 o'clock tomorrow morning. By 3 o'clock, before the storms arrive, gusting 40 to even 50 miles per hour in spots. So let it be known that it's a possibility that we can have power outages before the severe threat really ramps up. So have multiple ways to receive warnings. I mentioned to you that that threat is a little bit higher, farther toward the west earlier in our newscast. So here's what we're looking at one more time, a level 4 out of 5 on that scale from the Storm Prediction Center. So that is a moderate risk for severe weather, widespread severe storms possible. Most of North Alabama is still included in the level 3 out of 5. That's indicative of numerous severe storms. And although that risk level drops a little bit farther toward the east, we are all included in that outlined risk, and we should all be on alert. Here's the time of arrival, not duration, but arrival. We're looking at the earlier side of each one of these windows. 5 o'clock for the Shoals, 7 o'clock for the I-65 corridor, 9 o'clock for Northeast Alabama. And as fast as these storms are moving, we're pretty much going to be done by around midnight, if not slightly after midnight. So here's what this looks like. Cloudy tonight, staying breezy. It's what we wake up to tomorrow morning, remember. Here's 7 a.m. as we go through the day, all the way through the lunch hour, now into the afternoon. Here's 4 o'clock. You'll see a couple of cells here ahead of the line. I don't see any direct impact from storms ahead of the line so much for North Alabama, so that supercell threat is a little bit lower. But remember, we can still see strong tornadoes, EF2 or stronger, even embedded within this line. So here it comes. 6 o'clock tomorrow evening, moving through the Shoals, continuing to track eastward, knocking on our door in Athens and Decatur by 8 o'clock, crossing through Madison County, moving into Sand Mountain by 9 o'clock. Those storms continuing to track eastward, and you'll see that there's not a ton of rain behind this. That's the reason why the flooding threat is a little bit lower. And let me remind you, with that 11 o'clock time here, still seeing very strong storms through the area around DeKalb County. You're going to need to have multiple ways to receive warnings, not only because of the risk for power outages before the storms roll through, but because you'll maybe need a way to wake up as these storms are bearing down on your location. 7-day forecast shows that we're done with this threat for severe weather for the time being. For Thursday, temperatures are cooler in the mid 60s. Let me remind you, stay on alert, wait for new information coming in. I'll have updates on Wave 31 News at 6 and 10.